I guess, is what I'm asking.
Well, I did band when I was in middle school and high school.
Okay.
So it was a little musical already. But really, my love for music and watching music and blues in particular came from going to festivals as a kid.
Okay.
Chicago Blues Fest, and they had the Munster Blues Fest a long time ago. They don't do that anymore, but those were really cool. My father took me to a lot of festivals, all the free ones.
All the free ones.
Yeah, all the free ones.
Of course.
I mean, I went to a couple festivals as a kid, but not a lot. But, I mean, music for me is just like the radio, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of what my parents listen to. I don't know about you.
I kind of have my own taste in music from my parents, like, nowadays at least. Like, when I was younger, it was my parents' taste, but now
Yeah.
it's completely my own.
Same. Yeah, when you're younger, you don't really have
Yeah,
control
you
over
don't
the
have
dial.
control of the radio.
Well, now there's Spotify, so it's like, you can listen to
Yeah,
it
there's
all
also
whenever.
different, like, yeah. So, like, I'm assuming you had a close relationship with your father.
Yeah, I have a close relationship with my parents, for
That's
sure.
good. I love that. So, festivals were like your inspo, basically.
They were definitely a big part of it. Started with that, and then grew up in the YouTube age. When I was
Oh,
a teenager,
yeah.
and I started just looking up some people and stuff. I was like, oh, wow, this is really cool. Back then, it's not that long ago, but I still went to the library and got CDs.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I forgot
It's
you
pretty
could do that.
old
Yeah.
school, I guess, for you guys, right? Went to the library, got CDs.
Sorry, Jennings.
And that was also like LimeWire days, so we illegally downloaded music, which I'm
Oh,
sure people
fun.
still do, but it's not
People
as big of a
still do.
thing.
It's
Nice.
Napster for you guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha.
And that took a really long time because it was dial-up internet, so it wasn't great, but it was, So I found a lot of blues the way I could.
One song at a time.
Yep, one song at a
One
time.
song
yeah.
at a
You didn't
time.
necessarily know what you were getting. It might not be the song you thought, or
Yeah.
it could be viruses or whatever.
Start playing the song, you're like, oh, that is
Oh, yeah.
not what I was thinking.
You have to sit there for about 3 minutes, 4
Oh.
minutes, if you have good internet.
Mhm.
If you have good internet,
Right.
only if.
And wait for it to download, then you can check it.
I get,
Mhm.
Oh.
I get too impatient with downloading stuff personally.
You're just impatient.
I am.
I love you, I promise.
I'm sure you do.
Anyways. Okay, so like inspiration. I just asked you that.
Is there any like specific artists that inspired you at all? Or just,
Oh,
like,
plenty. Like you're talking about now or back then, or I guess it's,
Both, really.
Yeah.
Well, back then I think it was pretty common for anyone getting into blues guitar. A lot of the usuals like B.B. King, Eric Clapton, Buddy
Oh,
Guy,
okay.
Stevie Ray Vaughan. But then I dug deeper since then. But there's still foundational influences for me, for sure.
Yeah. So you said that you were mainly self-taught with guitar?
Yeah, mostly self-taught.
Are-
Took 2 semesters of classical guitar in college. Took a couple months of lessons here and there from random people, and then the rest was self-taught.
So like YouTube and stuff. YouTube
Yeah, a lot of
videos,
YouTube,
Messing around.
books, messing around, going to shows too, and listening to people and watching.
Watching like how like the
Yeah,
fingers move and stuff.
watching and listening I think is very important.
That was a big thing when I was learning is like watching my teacher play it first. And then like obviously I knew how to read music at the time, but
Mhm.
it made it easier to learn it.
Like I know a little bit of guitar, and I would say like, because I know how to like tune my guitar and stuff. Learning that was kind of difficult, but you just have to like have an ear.
That was always my least favorite part.
I don't know. I kind of like it. I enjoy it because like I can hear like if it's like even slightly off. I'm like, okay, well I need to turn this off.
You accidentally move it too far and you're like, darn it, I was so
Yeah.
close.
All the time.
Were there any other instruments that you play?
I play a lot of instruments. Not well, but I do play
Not
a lot
well.
of instruments. I've picked up the harmonica again, just like in the last few weeks. I just keep them in my car and I'm sitting around
Just
and I play it.
Play it?
Play a lot of mandolin over the last 2-3
Oh, really?
years. Yeah, I really enjoy mandolin.
That's cool.
A lot of strings, bass. I have a baritone guitar, slide, resonator, open tuning stuff, and banjo. Over the
Banjo.
last 3-4 years, I started picking up banjo, which is really fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's enjoyable. Keeps it fresh for me.
Any like drums or piano?
Piano, I can play a scale or two and some chords. Both basically my piano, I've just used it for warming up my voice, and that's all I can really
Okay.
do on it.
Yeah.
Drums, I can play a little bit. I have a drum set I used to use for other people for rehearsals, but I can play a shuffle and a straight funk beat and straight rock beat, and that's about it.
Were those self-taught as well?
Drums, I took like a month's worth or 2 months worth of lessons,
Okay.
at like the beginning of COVID.
Ah, gotcha.
And all the other strings were self-taught.
That is, can't even comprehend doing that because
Yeah.
I would never be able to do that.
Oh,
but you
can.
also had like, you wanted to,
Yeah.
so it was probably easier for you to do it because you
Oh, for sure.
had the,
I wasn't forced into it. I was an adult by then and was like, it's what I want to do.
yeah. So if it's like not something that I don't want to do, I'm like gonna take the time out to do it. What's the
Mhm.
word I'm looking for when you want to do something? There's a
Motivation?
word for it. Motivation. That's the word. Oh my gosh, I can't. It's Tuesday.
No, it's definitely motivated for sure.
Cause like I'm sure I could teach myself if I was more.
Yeah,
motivated.
everyone's capable. It's just, do you want to, you know?
Yeah.
Do you want to enough? Take the time to do it.
Yeah, amen. I mean, cause like yeah, like I wanted to learn, to edit better, and I mean, you can say I definitely improved in my editing skills compared to the first couple weeks of school.
Yes.
She taught me.
Nice, nice.
So you're like, yeah, you're gonna give me the credit for anything?
The credit goes to Ashley Billingsley for teaching me how to edit better, and still
Yay.
continues to help me.
Yeah, every day. Okay. So how much of your style is like feel instead of like actually reading music?
Oh, I don't read music. I can
Okay,
very badly.
I was gonna ask if you can at least read.
I learned reading music, in middle school and high school, but I've used that skill very little in the last 10, 15 years. It's not very relevant for a lot of rootsy genres, including like country and blues. Not a very useful skill, honestly, because harmonically, chord-wise, they're not that difficult
Right.
to get into it. It's the nuances, I guess, that is hard to learn. And that's mostly listening and watching, not necessarily written down.
So I'm assuming that you're able to like listen to something and kind of just like start playing it.
Yeah, I have a good enough ear that I can figure out a lot of the stuff I like. Not all of it, but a lot
Not
of
all
it.
of
A
it.
lot of it.
But a good portion.
Yeah. I don't
That's
have
good.
perfect pitch. I can't just hear a song and like, oh, that's in G sharp and blah blah blah.
Isn't
I
that
don't-
rare to have
It
like
is pretty
perfect
rare.
Doesn't like Charlie Puth have perfect pitch?
I don't know who that is.
Like
He's
two different genres. Sorry.
He's
A
the
lot
one
of-
popping the dicks and Jack is not.
Also, that's
A
true.
lot of people, not a lot, but there's a good amount of people who have very good relative pitch, which is a bit of a different thing, but similar. Like my brother, I don't know how exactly it works, but I think some people already have like one good pitch in their head. Like they know what an E sounds like, no matter where they are, and they could figure out what note's going on in contrast
The
to
rest of
that
it.
E in their
Okay.
head. So that's like
Okay.
relative pitch, and some people are very good at that. I don't have that either, though.
That's
I need a guitar and that. Oh, found it.
you have to like, got it.
Yeah.
That's still cool though.
No, thanks.
I mean, you're welcome. I don't think I could do that either. I mean, I'm sure I could if I really tried, but yeah, it's like weird how people can do that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it is weird.
Because, like, even like just to hear something and just kind of start playing it, like that's just takes a lot of practice. I
It
feel
takes
like.
time for sure. I think the people who have like real perfect pitch started when they're really young, mostly.
Okay.
That makes sense.
I think most of them started when they're really young.
Kind of like train your ears.
Yeah,
Train your
yeah.
ear,
And
yeah,
also
that's
there's like a
good.
certain, you just learn easier and quicker when you're really young, I think. Like languages too, I think.
You
If you're
hear it
starting really young,
constantly.
you can pick it up
Right.
easier. It's harder as you get older.
And you just hear it constantly as you're growing up. That would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
That just blows my mind sometimes. That's just so cool.
Like some of the people, I don't understand how like they can do what they do half the time. Like
Yeah.
when it comes to like pitches and stuff, I'm like,
I don't know how they do what they do, how they do
You
it.
know what I mean.
They've taken a lot of time. A lot of time to get there.
So I did a little bit of research on your. I said I stalked your Facebook basically. I was like looking, and I did hear like some of the like videos of like you playing like blues, and I heard a little bit of country too.
Mhm.
Is that like something you're kind of getting more into as well?
Yeah, no, I love country music for sure. I'm trying to think when I got into it. It's been a while now, actually, like 5-6 years. That I started doing more country. I've liked it for a long time. I've always, not always, but since 18 college age, I got really into the Americana thing.
Okay.
And 6 or 7 years ago, I met James Guetta, who's a local singer-songwriter in the country Americana vein that I really enjoy. And started performing with him.
I'm actually gonna interview him next
Yay!
week, so stay tuned
He's a
for
good
that,
guy.
guys.
Great guy.
I'm excited. He seems pretty cool. I kind of stalked him a little bit as well.
You're doing your job.
Yeah. I mean, how else am I supposed to get some info? I mean,
Yeah.
so COVID was a big thing,
Mhm.
obviously.
Mhm.
And so like how did it change did it change your music? If it did, how like
Did it change my music? I'm not sure about that. I definitely did a lot of practicing during COVID. A lot of just hanging around. We did some live streams for a bit,
okay.
which is incredibly difficult if you don't know what you're doing to get like quality video and audio. This would be a great place to do it.
Yeah.
But at home with internet and it
Yeah,
was
it's like
difficult.
harder to set up.
It was hard to set up. I don't really miss that.
I don't miss it at all. I mean, that's fair. Cuz we've done like live shows, and those are always a little stressful before we start, cuz it's just trying to get the audio right, like you said, and sometimes our internet will just stop working, and then we're like, "Well, what the heck just happened?"
Mhm. A lot of moving parts.
Yeah. There's a lot that goes on with it. I can't read that, sorry.
A viewer wants to know what are the
viewer.
chances of us getting the Ghetto Whittle cooking show back.
Oh.
What is that? What is that? Please explain.
That was part of the live streams that we did. We needed I wanted a gimmick, because then it would just be another live stream. So we did a cooking show in the beginning, and then played music while things baked. It was mostly baking.
What did you
It was-
bake?
It was all sweets, and James did all the heavy lifting there. I'm not a baker.
I'm gonna have to ask him about this.
There was scones that were great.
Scones?
No, they went all out.
Cookies.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a peach cobbler that was bad.
Oh.
Uh,
Did it just like turn out bad? Like, did you miss an ingredient?
Yeah,
or
James messed up an ingredient. I'm gonna pull blame fully on James on that one.
is it like kind of like the mix the sugar for salt kind of situation?
No, it was he got canned peaches instead of fresh. So it was in all the syrup, and they're all like the
Oh.
peaches were already all soggy and everything to start with.
So then it just went downhill from there.
Yeah, it was
It
bad.
was funny. It was hilarious to watch because you would have James putting the stuff in and out, and you would have Jack floating around behind him,
Yeah.
usually doing a soundtrack, and him actually. It was great.
It was a cool idea.
You should. I think you should bring it back. I need
No,
to
that
watch
involves the
that.
live streaming, and he's already.
I don't want.
I mean, if you
I
do
don't
it
want to
here.
do it. It's a lot of work to get it good.
That's oh my gosh! I never would have thought
He
that
learned
was.
so
a thing.
much. No canned peaches.
Don't do the canned
James likes
peaches.
them.
Or if you do, drain the syrup.
I don't think James ever saw a real peach before. So-
What?
I'm poking, but he's a good old friend of mine, so I can make fun of him a little bit.
Hilarious. I think you just didn't want to chop up peaches? It's
I
like
don't
this is
know.
just the easier version.
I think that's just what he was used to. When he thought peaches, he thought canned peaches. So that's what he got.
Awesome. You want to try that? You don't know how to bake, do you? Wait, yes you do.
Are you serious?
Sorry.
We have talked about, I can't bake, but I love baking.
Do we need to talk about the
Yum.
pancake art challenge?
Okay, shut up. We'll talk about that. Okay.
You're up. We're going to.
That's a
Oh.
song I do.
That's a
Oh,
song.
Okay, we're going to a song, guys. I just saw a
Oh.
sticky note with Glory Glory on it, and I was like, what? But, yeah, so can you tell us a little bit about Glory Glory?
That's the last song off my full album there. It's the only cover. It's a traditional tune, traditional gospel tune, and I really like it. I like it. A lot of slide guitar. It's very rootsy type
Ooh,
stuff.
slide guitar. I like hearing slide guitar.
It sounds really
It sounds just.
Thank
I
you.
love it.
Thank you.
So we're going to go into it, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit afterwards. So here is Glory Glory.
Woo.
Okay, you are off camera right now?
song you guys heard was Glory Glory, and let me just say, I really liked it. I know we were kind of talking about like the slide guitar.
Oh,
I love the sound of that. It is, oh my gosh.
I don't know.
It sounds so
It's just a
nice.
cool like sound that
Yeah,
like I
I
just
absolutely
love it.
Thank
Jinx.
you. Appreciate it.
So I know we talked about like how we have radio shows and stuff, but how many shows have you like performed in?
How many shows have I performed in? Well, this week I have 3.
3.
Wow.
In 1 week.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
I saw
a
that
lot.
on Facebook.
A lot.
Crazy.
Last week I probably had 3 or 4, and in the summer it gets busier.
So you're like busy.
Yeah, this is like what I do for my living.
That is awesome.
Living barely.
For
but,
my
you know.
For my living.
I
this is
squeak
what
by. Yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, does it? I mean, if you love it, does it really feel like work though?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
But I do love it.
Do you? I mean, because I'm a theater kid. I kind of mentioned that earlier, and I love the feeling of like performing on stage. Is like that's something that like.
Oh yeah, yeah. I really not always, but I do really enjoy performing for sure. Yeah, it's really expressive, especially the stuff I do. It's it's kind of half improvised.
Okay.
So it's different every night, and it's a lot of fun for me.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's not highly composed music. The blues and country music. Country can be sometimes, but I'm playing mostly older style stuff. So
Right.
there's a lot of improv, which I really enjoy.
I'm assuming you do a little bit of writing as well.
I do some writing.
What is that hard?
That's
Because I know it kind of depends.
That's a lot harder for me than other stuff. That's I've got into that later in life.
Okay.
I just wanted to be a guitar player at first. Then I had to learn to sing, and then start
I
trying
had
to
to learn to
write.
sing.
And
I had to learn how to do all these things.
yeah, I got a lot of help from my friend James Guetta.
That's
a lot
awesome.
of help. I'm working on a new album right now, actually.
Really?
With, yeah.
That is
Yeah,
so
With a
cool.
lot of the heavy lifting, writing-wise, coming from James.
That's awesome. So you play in a band or bands with him,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. If you want to catch James Guetta, you should look up James Guetta Music. The band is James Guetta and the Big Breakfast.
Yes.
Goes on with cooking shows.
That is great. Oh my gosh.
It's
how
silly.
did was there inspiration to that?
I think he likes to eat.
I think he likes to eat.
I think he likes to eat.
Well, it sounds like he likes to eat breakfast.
I like to eat too. Breakfast is great.
I mean, breakfast is definitely one of my favorite types of foods. So
never
I
eat
mean,
breakfast,
I
you
usually
never eat breakfast.
I never eat
You gotta
breakfast.
remember though, breakfast for them is dinner.
No, I'm not up that late, but yeah. I get a little bored with breakfast sometimes because I feel like it's a lot of the same stuff over
Yeah.
and over again. A lot of eggs and toast and hash browns and stuff, and I like those things. But I feel
Sometimes,
like
yeah,
it's
switch it
almost
up.
Always those things.
yeah, switch it up sometimes.
Yeah.
So okay, on average, how late would you say that you're up?
I
usually?
think I'm earlier than most musicians. I think I'm naturally a morning person.
Okay.
So I'm not staying. I don't know. To me, like 1's pretty average for me.
Okay, that's not super
yeah,
late.
it's not horribly late. No. Sometimes, if I have a gig out of town, it might go like this Saturday. I'm playing in. Where am I playing? St. Charles, Illinois. Well, the name of the house pub. I think it might be St. Charles. I don't know. It's like a western burb of Chicago. It's going to take me an hour and a half plus to get there, an hour and a half back.
Ew.
The gig ends at 12:30.
So
then I have to tear down. I'm not going to get home
Right.
until 2 or 3 or something. I don't know.
So do you like
Which
to
is fine.
travel?
I do like traveling a bit, for sure. I haven't done much long distance. Hour and a half is pretty common for me.
Okay.
Couple times a year, I'll venture down to maybe like Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay.
In May, I'm playing in Springfield, Illinois, Indianapolis, and Decatur, Illinois, all in a row.
Okay.
There. So
that's pretty cool.
That's a bit of driving, but not too much. I think Indy or Springfield. Springfield's what, maybe 4 or 5 hour drive?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a bit.
What would you say is the farthest place that you traveled for
I've
like
been
a
to
gig or
Yeah, not this past winter, but the winter before that, I did a tour with my band, backing up Chicago blues musician Liz Mandeville. And we played all the way down in Florida. We played Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Tennessee.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. It was fun.
Did you drive those?
did
I'm assuming
drive a
because you
lot of
had
it.
the.
Yeah, I did drive a lot of it, but we switched off.
That's good.
So now you're talking about all these places you played. Do you prefer like the larger venues or smaller venues?
It depends for sure. It depends on the crowd more than the venue size. You know, the least fun gigs sometimes are the ones where you're just kind of background music. You know, maybe a dinner crowd and they're all talking to each other and hanging out. So it's not as exciting for the performer because I'm kind of just, back there playing. But I know how to do that. I can be quiet. And for the most fun gigs are when the crowd's engaged. So like a theater show, they're there to watch music. They're there in a seat. They paid tickets. They're not really talking to each other or eating food.
Right, they're gonna be
They're
paying
there
attention.
to see the show. So that's a lot of fun. And even some bar gigs are really fun too if it's a good crowd into that kind of stuff.
And now, do like the more like excited, more upbeat crowds, like does that kind of like influence how you play? Does that give you more?
Oh yeah, I definitely feed off the energy. I think most good performers do. Feed off the energy that's coming back to
Right.
us. Yeah, for sure it changes my energy level.
Do you have like any like dream venue to play at?
I definitely have a few. They're not like huge venues, and I know I'm gonna play some of them at some point. But I need to get. Right now I really want to get into more Chicago clubs.
Okay.
Like Buddy Guys Legends, Kingston Mines. Even though I'm not sure I really want to do Kingston Mines because that's a long night. That's a really long night. Yeah, those are just two off the top of my head. I'm finally playing Slippery Noodle in Indianapolis, which I've always wanted to play. I'm
Nice.
doing that next month, so I'm excited about that.
I'm sure that'll be really fun.
It'll be fun. It's a blues club. People pay a cover to get in there. They're there to hear blues. It's a bar. It's a little rowdy. It's fun, though. It'll be a fun one.
Would you say that like I don't know, like is blues like I don't want to say it's like a dying genre, but like I feel like it's a lot less than it was.
Yeah, it's less popular than it used to be, for sure. I don't think it's dying in any way. And I don't like when people say, "Oh, save the blues," because it makes it sound like it's dying.
Yeah, because like
I
when
don't
people
like
say
that logic,
people say
you
that, I'm
know?
like, I actually know a lot of people who listen to the blues, so that's obviously not dying because
Yeah. And they just opened up a new club in Chicago, Lee's Unleaded Blues, I think. It depends on the area. It's area specific. Like, Chicago obviously has a lot of blues clubs compared to most places, excluding Memphis, New Orleans, maybe St. Louis. Yeah. Northwest Indiana, there's no blues clubs per se, but there's a lot of blues. There really is. If you're looking for it, you can find it.
yeah.
Very true.
So not as popular as it used to be, but it's there.
You know, we talked about like venues and shows and stuff. Do you have any like pre-show like routines or like rituals or anything like that?
Not so much. It's because I do lots of different types of gigs and lots of different venues with different people. And it's like constantly, it's like always different. Not always, but it's very different. Sometimes I have to set up my own sound, which actually quite often I have to set up my own sound. That takes a lot of time.
Is
to
it just
figure that out.
time consuming or is it hard to do?
It's a little bit of both. I have no formal learning in sound, professional sound. So it's a lot of trial and error. And I figured out my system pretty good for a lot of rooms. But you get a big reflective room, all hard surfaces and glass, and a lot of breweries and stuff these days are really tall, like warehouse type areas.
Okay.
Where it's just really tall, and they have no drop ceiling anymore because people don't want drop ceilings anymore.
Yeah.
So it's really loud and boomy, and it makes it harder for sure. Like, this room's great. Got carpet, couches, dry ceiling. It sounds nice in here.
Do you see?
We got
Do you
the
hear
good
that,
acoustics in
Jennings?
here.
Yeah.
It's great in
We
here.
got good acoustics in here.
Good job. This entire year was trying to figure out this radio room.
It really was.
We've moved around our radio rooms.
But it looks nice now.
It
He
does.
saw our first radio room. He said, "Oh, that's cute."
Is that what you said was, oh, that's cute? Our tiny
He
one?
said something like that. Oh, it's a little guy. or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, I think that's what it says a little bit.
Yeah, that was harder to definitely work in, especially
Oh,
if you were
for
trying
sure.
to. We get in here and we're like,
Can you
whoa.
imagine like doing our shows in there? I'm
No, for
down.
real. No one, no, really. We don't want that many people in here now,
Like, we
let
could've
alone in there.
done
Yeah,
this.
Yeah, we can like.
it's so small in that room. Yeah, I got nothing, bro.
So,
Okay, I got it.
Oh, Ashley can read better than me sometimes.
Yeah, somehow. She's the one with contacts. I'm the one who's supposed to be wearing glasses. I just don't. Anyway, so we're gonna be going into Nature of the Beast. So you guys are gonna listen to it, and then we're kind of talk about it a little bit.
Ooh.
Okay, so first off, that was Nature of the Beast, and what me and Maggie were literally just talking about 2 seconds ago was the drums in that song. I really enjoyed like the beginning with the drums. That was really nice.
Yeah, it sounded cool.
Hey, thank you. That was Benny Piazza on drums. It's kind of a Roomba beat. Kind of
Yeah.
Latinish inspired thing.
Oh, yeah, I loved it. Like I love drums. I know a lot of like like a lot of like different people who play drums, none of which like play them professionally or anything.
My brother plays. He's pretty good. Yeah. How did you not know that?
You never told me that. You don't really talk about him that much.
Oh, sorry, bro. Anyways,
Poor Adam.
he
So
knows I
where
love
can
him.
we, like, find you in the upcoming weeks?
Well, the best place to find my events would be either on my website, jackwhittle.com, WHITTLE. And I have a calendar tab there, which will have all my events. Or at Jack Whittle Music on Facebook.
Okay.
And I have all my events on there as well. Oh, God, I'm playing all over. I know May 11th, I'm at Duffy's in Valpo with Liz Mandeville. Chicago Blues, it'll be a fun time. Every Wednesday, I'm at Charcuterie in Griffith, Indiana. Open mic, it's fun.
That sounds
Ooh,
fun.
open mic.
Yeah, come on out, play some music.
Yeah,
Singing counts too.
yeah. Out there singing.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Hey, you know how you wanted to hear your voice with that one song from the play? There you go.
Boom.
I could do that. I could. That's a possibility.
Alright, so I don't know about you. I've had a great time.
Yes, thank you so much for coming on
No
with
problem.
us. I
Thank you for
appreciate
having
it.
me. Appreciate it.
I had a lot of fun.
So, guys, that is all for today. I hope everyone has a great day. I hope you have an amazing day
Thank
as
you.
well. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.